I'm not gay, okay? And I can get a girlfriend whenever I wanted. But I've always kind of thought that if I was gay, I'd be the best version of myself, right? That's kind of stuff you hear, stuff that I say to myself to kind of cope with the fact that I'm violently lonely. And I thought I would test whether or not I'd be better off straight or gay by making an account on Tinder and on Grindr to see how I stack up, to see who wants me more, who likes me more, to see where I would get the most success. And these apps, for better or for worse at this point, are basically primarily for sex and hookups. That's kind of the culture around them. I mean, what are you going to do? That's just kind of how it goes. It didn't really matter to me. What mattered to me most was that one side was girls and the other side was guys, basically. I realized that over my 22 years of life, I have virtually no photos of myself. And I think for good reason. Man shouldn't be able to see what they look like, generally speaking. And so I went out and I did a little photo shoot, try to get some photos of me that are desirable and maybe get some that are like from my parents or something like that. Just anything to add onto the repertoire, right? When I'm making the account. And it was me like outdoors or me, I think one of them is me taking my blood pressure so they know that I'm health conscious. I did one of me reading. That was one of the, because I know reading is kind of a desirable trait. And so for the gays, I did a selection of poems by Langston Hughes, because gay Harlem poet. And then for the women, I did Laura Bates's Men Who Hate Women, so that they know I fucked with feminist literature. It's not the book that I wanted to do. I actually wanted to do Marilyn Frye's Politics of Reality, but that didn't come in the mail soon enough because Amazon isn't an ally. But yeah, I took those photos and then I made an account. For Tinder, it was pretty straightforward. You upload the photos, you say a couple interests. I was really kind of grappling with whether or not I should put League of Legends as one of my interests, because League of Legends would be kind of funny because then I'd get a gamer girl, but then League of Legends would suck because then I'd get gamer girls. I didn't really know what I was looking for Tinder-wise, and obviously for privacy reasons and stuff, I'm not going to show me swiping, and I'm not going to show any of the profiles of the people that I matched with, certainly not going to show any of the profiles of people in the Grindr. And I made these accounts and kept track of the tally over the course of the last week. And I broke them down into days. I have a little spreadsheet that I'll pull up to show like how each day went. For simplicity's sake, I think we should go over Grindr first. The profile creation on Grindr is very in-depth in a way that makes me very uncomfortable. They're like asking me what type of gay I am. They're like, are you an otter? Are you a cub? Are you a twink? A fairy? You know, they're asking me what type of top or bottom I am. Are you a power bottom, switch bottom, verse bottom, switch top, dominant bottom? There's just so much jargon. I felt so out of place. Truly not where I am meant to be, but it's fine. All things considered. So over the week of me on Grindr, one small addendum. So Tinder actually has a matches system, right, where you swipe left, swipe right on whether or not you like the person, and then if you both swipe right on each other, it'll match you, right? So Grindr isn't like that at all. What Grindr does, it's actually more of like a wall. Think of like a cork board, right, where there's just a wall of pictures of gay men, and then you can click on the pictures of gay men and it'll show you the profile and the album, and then you can message them or tap them if you'd like. There's no matches per se. You just message them and you see if they're interested and what they want, and that's really that simple. So in the case of this, basically we're saying I didn't ever look at the wall. Basically, people who would message me first, I would consider that a match or equivalent to that of Tinder. I'm keeping track of a bunch of metrics, but for Grindr, basically matches are people who message me first. I'm gauging responses, so I'm just going to respond to everybody saying just hello, exclamation point. That's all I'm going to say in response to that. And then I'm also going to be keeping track of taps, which is basically people who find you attractive but are too nervous to say hello. And the fourth and final category, which I did not start tracking until it happened, was the number of explicit images that I received. This experiment, I have never been more sympathetic to what women go through than being a straight dude on Grindr. My God. So I kept track of how many unsolicited pictures I got. There's even a little box that you can fill out when you're making an account on Grindr that's like, hey, do you want to receive unsolicited pictures? And I said no, and it did not matter at all. When I was making the accounts, I put myself as 6'1". On Grindr, they ask for weight, so I put 240. I said that I'm in Eugene, Oregon, and off I was. So over the course of the week on Grindr, I received 20 matches. 20 guys messaged me first. Every single one of those 20, I responded just saying, hello, exclamation point. And of those 20, 12 of those responded after the fact. In addition to the 20 matches, I also got 12 taps, and that one's not super accurate because taps and messages can technically collide together. Like sometimes there are overlaps between taps and matches, but that's kind of what happened. I received 4 explicit images. There was one guy who he just sent me an album of him, and the album was just a bunch of pictures of him like normal, and then a bunch of pictures of him bare-chested, and then the last 2 pictures of him is him just grabbing his hog. That one was pretty cool. I got 2 guys who just sent me pictures of their bare ass. That was pretty cool. And the last guy I actually thought was very funny. So I messaged him. So he messages me. He's like, hey, what are you looking for? Do you want sex? And then I respond naturally with, hello, exclamation point. And then he waits a day and goes, do you want sex or do you want boyfriend? And I don't respond because at this point he's been datified. He's been, put into the spreadsheet. And then I ignore him for the next day, but I guess I have read receipts on, so he sees that I'm reading him and he sees that I'm ignoring him. And then he just goes, whatever, right? And I'm like, oh my God, there's no way. I just got hit with the you're not even that hot anyway, but for gay, right? And so I ignore him. And then he sends me 3 photos of his bare ass. The first one, I can actually see his penis in between his legs, which was pretty cool. And then I ignored him again, and then he called me the N-word, hard R. So that guy was not happy with me, but everyone else was actually very nice. I've never been more certain of the fact that I'm straight, other than right now. There's something about seeing just a hulking lumberjack of a man call you handsome that really just kind of rectifies anything you thought you knew about your sexuality. But that was Grindr. Overall, pretty pleasant experience. And then we go to Tinder. Tinder is the most dehumanizing piece of trash. Like, I've never felt worse in my entire life than sitting there scrolling on Tinder. It's so awful. Like, I'm usually not one of like TikTok and brain rot and it's that damn phone like ruining your life. Tinder is ruining you. I promise. Just like the mode. So the way that I did Tinder was basically, I would go on, and since I had a free account, all I would do was just swipe. I would swipe until I ran out of likes. That's all I would do, right? In addition to not being the most dehumanizing piece of shit, it's dehumanizing not only in the sense of like, oh, I'm literally treating these people as like meat and like produce and just like as like product. I like found myself, basically there are like 4 categories of women as it pertains to women in Oregon. Basically, the first one is just regular good-looking gal, right? Regular old good-looking gal, individual, okay? The second one is like country bumpkin, Trump-loving, camouflage-wearing, duck-hunting patriot, okay? That's the second one. The third one is half of the South African rap duo from Chappie. I know you think I'm joking. I promise there are so many. You wouldn't believe it. And then the fourth one is just disgusting mammoth she-beast. Like just the fattest woman you've ever seen in your entire life. And the only solace I have in describing these women in these horrific ways is that they're swiping left on me too. Like that's really the only, like I know they're in that same position looking the exact same way as me as I am them, right? By the end of the week, I had literally swiped on every single person from the 19 to 28 year age range, within 100-mile radius of me. The first day, originally I just did 20 to 28 because I'm like, I won't do 19-year-olds. 19-year-olds a little too young for me. I'm 22, right? 19's a little too young. I ran out of swipes immediately. Or not swipes, but I ran out of matches. Like, I ran out of potential candidates, like, almost immediately, right? I didn't even run out of likes, so I'm like, all right, fine, I'll lower it to 19. So I lowered it to 19, and then I think after the second or third day, I had already ran out of people to swipe on within a 25-mile radius of me. And I'm like, all right, fine. I up it to 50 miles, right? By the third or fourth day, I'm already out of people to swipe on within a 50-mile radius of me. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go to 75, right? By the sixth day, I'm out of people to swipe on the 75th. And by the seventh day, I'm on a 100-mile radius. And within a 100-mile radius, I ran out of swipes. I didn't even run out of likes. I ran out of people, possible candidates for me to match with. But, okay, that being said, here are the stats. After the first day, I got 3 likes, which means basically people who swiped right on you and you didn't swipe right on them. 0 matches, first day. Second day, same 3 likes, 0 matches. Third day, one of the people who liked me unliked me. I went down to 2 likes. I went from 3 likes to 2 likes. Fourth day, I got a match. I switched it up. Instead of saying hello, exclamation point, I said hiya, exclamation point, Hiya. And she responded saying, hey, with a bunch of Ys, like 3 Ys. So I was in, basically. But I was like, all right, cool. She responded that you're being tabulated into the thing. Next day, 0 matches. Day after that, 0 matches, 0 likes. What am I on? The 6th day? 6th day, the girl I matched with unmatches me. So, Catalina, if you're out there and you're seeing this, I'm sorry. You got owned. It's not you, it's me, Totally get it. 7th day, I get my like back. I'm back up to 3 likes. And then I technically stopped by on an 8th day just to make sure I caught everything up, but that's neither here nor there. So after a week of Tinder, I got 1 match, technically, net, right? But I lost it after a couple days because I didn't pursue it. I guess that's on me, right? That's my fault. Very humbling experience. Obviously, I understand that my photos were not the best. Here is my Tinder account so you can see all the interests and stuff that I have and the stuff in my bio and the music anthem. Unequivocally, I should be gay, right? Like, it's just not even close. It's not even close how much more I'm a dick magnet. I mean, Lord knows, as if I didn't already know, How am I going to tell my parents?